All right, so today I'd like to go over something that kind of seems like something that's not very important, but it is really a big help for me, at least while I'm hunting, and that is having a good set of pruners. Um, this is the set of pruners that I started my season out with. This is just a standard pair. It's Fiskars that you can get at Menards, and it worked all right. But as I've stated in some of my earlier videos, is I work in the trades. So my knuckles and my hands are sore all the time. And these things suck as far as when you're cutting through a branch and it finally gets to the point where it snaps through. The knuckle shock through these things was crazy. I mean, there were a lot of branches that I'd be cutting where I'd switch to going to both hands as I was getting close to cutting through a branch just because the shock would hurt my hand so bad. So throughout the season, I was kind of getting frustrated because it was getting quite painful cutting through some of the bigger branches when I was setting a stand or setting sticks and stuff. And I was like, I'm going to find a premium set of pruners to use while I'm hunting. And I did a lot of research on YouTube and stuff, and I came up with these ones. And these are the Felco. This model is the Felco 2. And these things are awesome. I ran them through their paces. I tried to break these things. I mean, I was cutting stuff that was branches that big around, where I was literally having to like work it onto the branch and like score it before it would even fit into the jaws of these things. And I mean, I cut everything. I hunt every kind of tree there is. I hunt pines, willows, maples, oaks, especially like oaks, like real hard branch stuff. And these things were unbelievable. I could not break them no matter how hard I tried, and I was not being easy on them whatsoever. And I'll show you, there are some chips in the blades. I'll get some close-ups on these things just from how badly I was abusing them. And being in the trades, I appreciate things that are well made. And that's one thing, like with these, it's just a standard handle on these things. There's nothing special. It's just a handle that's curved. Where when you look at these things are actually like crafted to fit your hand. Like, it's actually impressive how much detail goes into these things. You can see that all the angles and everything just match a hand perfectly. And one of the cool things about these is they got a a rubber stop in here that when that thing pops through, and these things are just so sharp that they don't even really pop through. They cut. It's wild how much I abuse these things, and they just performed amazingly. So with turkey season coming up, a lot of you guys are going to be setting up on the sides of field edges and stuff like that, and you're going to have, all the weeds and stuff that you're going to be trying to bend down that are going to eventually be springing back up. It's nice. You can cut yourself a nice little tunnel with a set of pruners. Deer hunting, I mean, I trim the hell out of big branches that you shouldn't be using a pruner on. But when you're trying to set up close to a deer, which is in general is what I'm trying to do. I'm very rarely hunting travel routes. I'm usually hunting as close as I can feel that I can get to where I suspect the deer is. I'm trying to be quiet, and I carry a little, it's like a pocket knife sized handsaw, and I'll show some pictures of that in the video, the saw that I use for when I do get into branches that are too big for this. But when you're running a handsaw and you're making a noise, and when you're cutting a decent sized branch, and that's not a natural sound. It's not like I said, it's not a natural sound. But when you're cutting with these, you're almost making no noise whatsoever. So these things are great. I use the hell out of them. It's a major part of my daily hunting activity. Anytime I'm hunting a new spot, a hang and hunt, which is, if you've watched any of my previous videos, it's, I'd say roughly 80% of the hunts that I do are new stand locations on a tree that I've never been in before. So I'm having to trim out every time. And these things are awesome. I love them. So if you guys are looking for a pruner, I highly recommend these pruners. And I'm not in the business of advertising stuff. That's not what I do for this channel. I try to film my hunts. But something that makes my hunts so much easier is this thing right here. It's got a little bit of weight to it. It weighs slightly more than this one here. But you can see that this is stamped steel, where this is casted aluminum, which is sweet. You know, this thing is just tough. I mean, like I said, I've beat the shit out of these things, and I have not been able to break them yet. So if you're looking for a pruner, highly recommend it.